Hello, all you Gare Bears, and welcome to another edition of the Gare Bear Review. And in case your eyes didn't see it, boop, boop. Yes, we are going over In the Heart of the Sea. Now, granted, this is one of the big ones that I wanted to watch during this era, this month of movies. I do want to see an IMAX. I never actually got the chance to go just yet. I hope to soon, but I'm sure it's just as amazing and just as chaotic. Here's the deal with this one. It is not the story of Moby Dick per se. It is the story that inspired the author to write Moby Dick. So, from what came of the story of Moby Dick actually derived from this man's tale and this writer's experience on listening in on the horrific journey of this giant mammoth-sized, probably, well, mammoth is being a little blunt, but it's this humongous, gigantic, Galactus-sized whale who can destroy you with just a look into your soul. And again, this is the story that inspired Moby Dick and the white whale. I mean, I can see where they obviously you could see where they come from. Obviously, with the giant whale and the sea shanty of this, but you don't really see the compassion and the passionate uh, drivenness of wanting to destroy this whale or to take out this whale. I mean, granted, they take a few shots at it, but it just doesn't measure up. Which is good in some aspect because the movie shouldn't have been just been based off of the whale. It was more of a humanistic story on on the journey that these men took upon themselves. Now these are whalers, which means they go out fully stocked on their boats and they go and kill whales for either sport and money. So it's a little bit graphic, especially I've actually had a couple people come and tell me like they wanted a refund just because they don't want to be associated with whale killing. Which I can see. I get that. Trust me, I do. But, just because you see a movie doesn't mean you necessarily agree with any of it. You can still see a movie and still not agree with any of it. I mean, there are fucking hundreds of documentaries, political documentaries. There are a bunch of, things that in this world that you're just not going to be okay with. And that's fine. And, some take it to an extent where they need to say something or they need to do something. So it happens. But look, I don't condone this. I don't, believe in killing animals of any kind. But I went into this movie because it's a movie with a favorite actor of mine, with a concept that I liked, with a book that I've read in my younger days, and for fun. It's Moby Dick. And if you've never read Moby Dick, I don't know what you're doing. You don't really need to read the book or know, but you need to know of the story. You need to know about it. You don't really need to know about Ishmael, or you don't really, because Ishmael's not really a character. It's basically a front, if you will, to hide the other person's identity. So that way no one knows. But the whale, they take humanistic characters from by making the whale being the victim, which is what it is, which is what he is or she is, and the cinematography in this is just astounding. The whale alone in the water and just splashing around, destroying everything in sight is an incredible scene to watch. I mean, it basically, if you ever looked at it, it's almost as good as if you watch the Kraken come up from the ocean when you watched Pirates of the Caribbean. It's almost as good as that. I mean, it's just such a great movie to watch. I would definitely, in my mind, I would definitely go check this out. It's a fun movie with a decent cast. Now, this movie was directed by Opie. I'm gonna pause to see how many who get that. It's Mr. Ron Howard. Mr. Ron Howard, you definitely know him. He did he played Opie in an older show, even before my time. He was on Happy Days, which was around me. I got the reruns. Um, and then he did this. He wrote this with Charles Levitt, who's done The Seventh Son as of recent, and he did Blood Diamond with Leo DiCaprio. So, like, he's no stranger to actually doing decent stuff. You know, and then Ron Howard brings in this, like, cast of insanity. You have Murphy, who's just coming off of Transcendence, and before that, The Dark Knight. You had Mr. Gleason again recently Suffragette, and then Edge of Tomorrow. Most of my nerd friends will get that he is Moody, Professor Moody from Harry Potter. And then you have someone from the new Daniel Craig franchise of James Bond, Mr. Ben Whishaw. He was Inspector and in Skyfall, I believe. And then you have Tom Holland coming back. If you don't know him as an adult, trust me, he was with Naomi Watts in The Impossible. I didn't even realize that until later on. I knew the name and I recognized the face, but I didn't put two and two together. And then you get to Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Yes, that is correct. Abraham Lincoln, the vampire hunter, I might add. Mr. Ben Walker shows up into this one as a pretty much someone around the same era, I guess you could say. And then you have Thor himself, Mr. Chris Hemsworth, without the Goldilocks hair and the hammer, of course, although he probably could have used it against this whale. I can tell you that. But yeah, I mean, look, you have all the aspects in a decent movie. You have the great concept basing off of a really good book. I would definitely check this out, especially in IMAX. And I know I'm saying that without even seeing it in IMAX, but I'm telling you right now, it's probably going to be worth more if you do see it in IMAX. What I do not know what our next adventure will be, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping it's going to be good. John Williams said he was going to stop by. I don't know. It's not going to happen, but John Williams, and then you get some awesomeness with the pewing and the soloing. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned for our next adventure. Bye.